gentlemen, as you can see behind me, I'm repping for the ladies with the NXT North American Championship. But NXT TNA, a couple of things happened, but let's be real. AEW Revolution and WWE Raw and SmackDown have really, I'm going to say, set the bar for wildness on the road to WrestleMania. So I'm joined this week again, as always, except for last week, by my co-host, the one and the only, the Playmaker. Playmaker was really good.
So, madness is just everywhere, huh?
It is.
Madness is just everywhere. I thought it was supposed to be for one certain sport, but I guess it's like all the other sports want to get involved in the madness too.
Possibly.
But happy 316 day. Hey, you gotta pay homage to the man. It's 316. The man Stone Cold Steve Austin, Maybe he'll show up tonight and throw some stunners out there because it's 316 day.
I wouldn't hold my breath, but anything could happen.
Sorry that I missed last week, but for important reasons. Your boy was covering the Atlanta Sun Tournament Championship on the ladies' side, so.
Yeah, we had a capable replacement for you last week. Very versed, very into wrestling. A little long-winded, but hey, it's all good.
But we're not going to keep you long, but you're going to jump right into it. We got some NXT revengeance to talk about. And right off the bat, we had a street fight between Jada Parker and Blake Monroe.
Miss Parker, just the cakes. Just the cakes. It's Parker. It's really good.
And I did say street fight, so we had some weapons. And Blake Monroe is known as the glamour one, right? So we also had some diamonds involved. But them diamonds led to a Blake Monroe victory because he DDT'd Miss Parker on them diamonds.
Yes, you did.
For a nice win.
Very violent.
I would say at this point you need to end this rivalry, but is this rivalry really ended? I believe we're 1-1 right now.
With Shawn Michaels, I doubt it.
I want you to end it, Sean, because I'm tired of being torn between the two. Like I'm Latoya Luckett.
It's tough.
It's very tough. Tony Angelo continued his rampage against the Dark State members. He has now defeated the so-called leader of Dark State, Deion Lennox. Well, you keep giving somebody a bite of the apple, eventually they're going to bite it. And that's what Tatum Paxley did, the easy thing. We have a new women's North America champion in Tatum Paxley.
Yep.
Sir, I would love to give you this one. This was an underground match between Kalani Jordan and Lola Rice.
All I'm gonna say is there was cakes everywhere. We knew who was gonna win this. Trying to save time because I know AEW gonna take some time today.
Joe Hendry defended his NXT championship against Ricky Saints, and NXT still believes. That's the best way I can put it.
That's the best way to put it.
Coming down the pipe at some point in time, we will see JC Jane defending her title against Soruka and Zarya. That's coming down the pipe, though. NXT recap for this week. Is there anything for TNA or?
So Moose is getting his get back. He started it with Cedric Alexander. TNA people, I know I promised y'all last week I would talk a little bit more about TNA this week, but I'm going to have to push that to next week. And when we get in AEW, y'all will understand. Boy, AEW was.
AEW, Raw, and SmackDown. Good gracious.
So for the purposes of time, because we want to get y'all as close to the beginning of Raw as we can, we're going to have to push TNA outside of that back a little bit. And we're going to dig into our promise next week. But we just got to, oh boy, so much is happening.
That's why it's called madness.
We got to get to the extra good stuff. Not that TNA don't have good stuff, but we got to get to the extra good stuff. And then we're going to be back. We're going to show TNA a lot of love. We're going to talk about things that's been going on the last couple of weeks. But boy. I want to set the stage because I'm going straight to TNA. We'll take the commercial break after TNA. I'm going straight to AEW, take the commercial break after AEW. I want to set the stage for how good AEW was.
Good and surprising.
Okay. We had several returns.
And a surprise out of
AEW Revolution. AEW Revolution. Well, when I say I've jokingly said when you are on so much powder, at times you just have moments of clarity, and you just look like a genius. Tony's found the right dosage. So
either that or the fact that he's been on these podcasts and talk shows lately.
He had to find the right dosage too. He had to. I got to pull it up, y'all, because in order to go in order and make sure I don't miss anything, because when I tell y'all, okay, it was a lot. It was a lot. It was a whole lot. All right. So we're going to try to start at the beginning. I guess there is one match that I have to talk about for the pre-show. There's one I have to talk about. I don't like to do a lot of pre-show talk, but I have to do one. So in the pre-show, and this affected the main show, that's why I have to talk about it. We had a match, 0 hours, what they're calling it, between Willow Nightingale and Lena Cross. Willow Nightingale beat Lena Cross. They were going to face each other in the tag team match later tonight for the tag team championships. This is for the TBA championship. Willow Nightingale won the match, but Lena Cross and Megan Bain stomped a mud hole in her, walked it dry, and re-stomped it before her tag team partner could get down to help her. So that kind of put them at a disadvantage. And that was a storyline throughout. And we'll come back to that, but I just wanted to get to that. Me and Malcolm made picks last week. We picked for 20th National Championship Battle Royal. The reason I'm talking about this is it finished on the main show. It was the Field or Ricochet. We both picked the Field. We both were correct. They're trying to call him Jungle Man, but I'm just going to say Jungle Jack Perry beat Ricochet to win the AEW National Championship in a Battle Royal. Still makes Ricochet look strong, but gets the belt out of him because he's not really defending. He's still caught up in this crew drama. Then we had the Men's World Tag Team Championship matches. We had FTR versus the Young Bucks. If our guy Cole Johnson was watching, he would say that this was an extra acrobatic monkey kick party, as he likes to say. Because when I tell you this was a good match, This was a good match. Blood, uh, twists and turns. FTR did get the win with a shatter machine off the top rope. So they kind of had to soup it up and make it special to get the dub, but they got it. So got to give them props for that. All right. After the match, the first
surprise number one,
shocking return / surprise. We hear the music of one Edge. His name is Cope in AEW, but we're going by Edge. I'll write Cope because I want you to get the right hashtag. Edge. So Edge comes out. He's standing top of the right. He's hyped. Then all of a sudden, it's like, well, what's happening? What's going on, right? And then you hear some different music. You hear another music that you know all too well. The graphics have changed a little bit. Loyalty, respect, all that stuff that was different from what Christian had before. But we get Christian Cage. But he doesn't come out the front. He comes out the back, and he starts hitting FTR. He sprays something in one of their faces. The other one gets a kill switch. By then, Edge is down to the ring. Delivers a spear. Out of some crazy coincidence, Big Stoke can now walk again. Now I say that, I'm sarcastic when I say that. But Big Stoke can walk again. So Stokely ends up getting, after trying to weasel his way out, he ends up getting an unprettier from Christian as well. And then the Young Bucks hop into the ring, and they're staring down Edge and Christian. Or Cage and Cope, as the T-shirt says, the Edge had on. And I gotta say, interesting. It feels like a little triangle there, and in pro wrestling, triangles are always a good thing. So that should lead a little bit to what's popping. I think that angle and the reintroduction was perfect. Anything you want to add to that, Playmaker?
them old grizzly vets, they just won't hang it up.
And so the thing is, you know me, I'm all about the grizzly vets hanging it up, right? But one time where I'm like, go ahead and do your things in the tag division, because there's never enough solid tag division stuff, ever. There's never enough solid tag teams in any promotion. So to be able to have them do that, I'm with it. I'm definitely with it. So shout out to that as well. Another, I think, well put together thing, segments and all the facial expressions. You can tell they spent some time on it. Now, next, this match has been bubbling for a while. I don't remember what we picked for the World Tag Team Championship match. Actually, I think we both picked the Young Bucks because their family got beat up by FTR the week before. So we're wrong on that one. We had Toni Storm versus Marina Shafir. So me and Malcolm both picked Toni Storm. We said it should be Marina Shafir because losing this match does nothing bad for Toni Storm, but we felt like it was going to be Toni Storm that won. And we were correct in that. Actually, Marina Shafir is wrestling a much better match than you would think for Marina Shafir. She's definitely stepped up her game.
Hey, that's it.
So shout out to her for that.
Malcolm in the chat. Malcolm in the chat. So he in the chat.
I know.
He said he picked
Toni Storm. Okay. I said I think my memory ain't good about what happened last week.
No, I didn't know he was in the chat.
Ago, so.
No, I was saying I didn't know he was in the chat, so I looked at it.
So Toni Storm and Marina Shafir. Marina Shafir actually had a good match. She actually did a good job hanging in there and looked like a credible competitor for Toni Storm. Toni Storm is one of the women that She can be gone for 6 months. She come back and she gets the highlights off rip. But shock number 2. I'm gonna let Playmaker take this one.
Surprise of the weekend.
After this match.
The surprise of the freaking weekend. There's a woman who didn't really enjoy her time in another company of wrestling. Has some very candid words about the sport of pro wrestling. So nobody thought about her when it came to AEW or WWE. And then lo and behold, Ronda Rousey shows up at AEW. Well, Mr. Tony Khan, how much did you snort to pull this one off? Because nobody thought of ever seeing Ronda Rousey in the square sucker ever again.
Hey,
too busy talking about going to the White House to do the fight for UFC.
I will say, shout out to Tony Khan. He managed in the last couple of years to get CM Punk and Ronda Rousey that we didn't expect. So I got to give him some props for that. Like Tony Khan gets a lot of, I guess I could say, he gets a lot of tough stuff, a lot of tough things said about him, especially on this show. I ain't gonna front. But this one, he did a good job. It was a shock value because nobody saw it coming. In this day and age,
when you do it because you care about the product. Other people, they say because they want to be jerks and trolls. You say because you care about the product. There's a difference.
Well, I mean, either way, the thing is, I give you a lot of grief, Tony, when you do things and I'm like, what are you doing? This time I'm saying what are you doing, but in a positive way. So shout out to you for making this happen. Shout out to you for that. And I like it. And it was definitely needed. You got to do something to shake up the women's division because you do have a lot of people. But it does feel like what I saw in some comments of people saying, oh, they use women for a while and throw them away. But you got to realize AEW shares talent with other promotions. So you can be signed to somewhere else. So you might have like a program that you're running with them where they really need you. And AEW, does have women that just work there, but they have people that they share with other promotions. So that's why you kind of might see somebody for a while and then they disappear for a little bit, because they may have something going on their other promotion. So Ghoulie in the chat, my co-host from last week, he said still calling them Edge and Christian. Says also
you ain't the only one.
No, I also only got 5 matches wrong. I don't even think I got 5, but I did get a couple wrong for sure. Says, like I said, we get in Brood, Edge, and Christian. I gotta tell you, man, I didn't see Brood, Edge, and Christian. I saw a different version, but I didn't see Brood. But I mean, over time, it might turn into the Brood. But I don't see that right now. Maybe because that's what you really kind of wanted. You kind of believe
that really, at this stage in their career, is that really needed?
Hey, everybody got their one last thing they want to see. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
I'm gonna say it like that. Ghoulie said he did pick FTR. Okay, yeah, like I said, I thought we might have both picked FTR. Who knows? I remember some of them. I don't remember some of them. He also says Ronda Rousey being there. Thoughts also potential feud with Toni Storm. God help us all. I'm gonna tell you one thing that I think people forget. Toni Storm can have a great feud with a bag of potato chips with some hot sauce on them. And that's important. That is very important because you have to have those people who you could put anybody up against. Do you realize how much mainstream media attention they got today because Ronda Rousey showed up? Do you realize how much? Think about it. Ronda Rousey showed up on AEW. There have been no recent talks about her coming to nothing. She just popped up in a whole nother promotion. And not only did she pop up, what else happened? It looks like she's associated with the Death Riders from the jump. That could be very interesting and important as well. So Gooley says, yes, this is needed, Playmaker. Think about this. They put them in his wife. I'm sorry, my Gooley evil side would have kicked in. Well, I'm going to say this, Gooley. I think that you want that, but I don't think it's needed. Right? Yeah, they did get his wife, and yeah, I know what you were saying. FTR put their hands on Edge's wife, Beth. I'm sorry, I'm using my phone microphone, and it sucks. It's all good. You have to understand though that while it would make sense to bring the Brood back in your mind because of what happened, more logically, you're going to get more than likely you're going to get just a tougher, meaner version of Edge and Christian. They're going to have a run. They're going to take the tag team championships from FTR. They're going to have a run, and then they'll probably retire. Also, we're gonna move on to the next match. We got a couple more matches to cover, and we got some things happening. So, also on the show, we had the AEW Continental Championship match between Jon Moxley and Konosuke Takeshita. And that's a hard name to say. Moxley won another brilliant match, but with story. See, now we're getting matches with story, y'all. You know, I've always complained about AEW no story. We're getting matches with story now. Moxley and Takeshita had a match before that went to a time limit draw. It's the only match that he didn't win technically since he's been the AEW Continental Champion. So they get the rematch, no time limit. Moxley wins because he puts Takeshita to sleep. That's how he ends up winning. Gives him props afterwards, how he ends up winning. Now, feel like almost every match at the beginning, another surprise return.
It's your other favorite.
Going, yep. And all these things happening. And then out walks Ospreay. And of course, Moxley and them tried to break his neck and end his career. So, yeah, he was let's just say he was a ball of fire. As you always are, you make that surprise return, right? So he's a ball of fire. He ended up taking him out, getting him out of the ring. Tried to get Moxley, but Moxley was able to get away. And then that's when you had the interaction between, at the beginning of the match, we had the interaction between Rousey and Moxley. But yeah, so very good match. Again, it like Moxley, bruh, to me, he's a much better wrestler than he was in WWE. I feel like he's developed and learned his craft better. And he's definitely a cornerstone of AEW, whatever division he's in. Then we had an AEW Women's World Tag Team Championship match. We can't go into too much detail because there's so many matches on AEW. We had Divine Dominion defeat Babes of Wrath. In my defense, I will refuse to count this one against myself. Okay? And you know why I refuse to count this one against myself? Because I did not know that they were going to have the powerhouse of the tag team champions get beat down and her shoulder jacked up before the match. Okay? You did not. I did not know that. So I believe I did pick Babes of Wrath, but Divine Dominion, which is the other team, which is Megan Bain and Lena Cross. They did go ahead and take those straps off of them. But like I said, the injury played a big part in that happening. But that was a good match too. Like all these matches are good and they all had story behind them. They weren't just thrown together matches. Another singles match, they had some story behind it. My boy, the most dangerous, Swerve Strickland, beat Brody King. He gave him about 4 house calls in a row.
Okay, yeah. I was gonna say, if you're gonna be the most dangerous, I'm gonna need you to do some dangerous things, and you doing 5 of them in a row. Yeah,
they were both dangerous. Yeah. This was, I'm gonna whoop your ass, you gonna whoop my ass, and in the end, one of us gonna whoop the other one's ass just a little bit more. Swerve got that win, got the respect. But I'm gonna tell you, Brody King is a problem. He kept kicking out of stuff that most people uh, do not kick out of. Swerve kicked out of some things too, but it was, you know. All right, then we got Thekla, and this one I completely got wrong. Defeated Chris Statlander in the Women's World Championship match. It was best 2 out of 3 falls. Thekla won fall 1. Chris Statlander snapped in the end of fall 2 and won that one. And then Thekla got her. And the third match, it was a lot of shenanigans. But at the end of the day, Chris Statlander lost. Thekla is still our Women's World Champion. They keep bringing up the thing about how she's only been pinned 2 times now, only 3 times, twice by Chris Statlander and once by somebody else. It doesn't add to anything. I don't buy Thekla as the champ. So she won cool. I know you're trying to give her a run, but I just don't buy it. Without the Babes of Destruction, the trio of terror, she wouldn't even be there. All right, another shot, a World Trios Championship match, another quote-unquote shock. You basically said, hey, Don Callis family, we need y'all to take the belts because Hangman's going to be in the main event, and we're going to slide Mystico in there. Mystico was already a Trios champion in CMLL. So now he's a Trios champion in CMLL and AEW as Jet Speed and Mystico beat the Don Callis family. And honestly, the turning point of that match was when Jet Speed and Mystico decided, when Jet Speed got their mask removed by Don Callis family, they actually all 3 had masks on. So Jet Speed's not used to wearing masks. So I think it was hampering them a little bit, and then they got him ripped off in the match to show a sign of disrespect. And I think that actually helped them out. Now we're going to hop back to the match between Swerve and Brody King. I wanted to get through a couple more before I brought this up. Perfect point to throw this out there. After that match, Kenny Omega came out to try to get him a piece of Swerve. And, Swerve's my guy. But after he's had a dangerous and rigorous match, and he ain't got no backup, now you want to run out and come at him. Come on, Kenny. You're supposed to be the dude. I'm going to need to see better from you. I know Wednesday you'll come out and you'll try to play the good guy. But that's a little heelish, don't you think? Just saying. Is that biased because of Swerve? Absolutely. And I won't deny it. All right. Next, we had a singles match. Andrade, El Idolo, and Bandito. They tried to make a story out of this. They really couldn't.
So they failed?
Huh? They tried to Bandito watched Andrade. No, they tried to have a story out of it. The match was good, but they tried to have a story out of it. And the story failed because it's like, Bandito was watching Andrade as a kid. But they tried to hype it up like 2 weeks before. It didn't balance the rest of the card, but it made sense where they put it because after all the other matches, you kind of got this match to go to the bathroom, take a break, stand up, stretch, all that good stuff before you got to the last 2 matches. So we had a Tornado Trios match between Darby Allin, Orange Cassidy, and Roderick Strong against the Dogs. So for those of you who may not have caught Dynamite, just a quick reminder. The Dogs tried to call out Roderick Strong to beat up Orange Cassidy after their match. But instead of beating him up, Roderick Strong helped him. So then he teamed with them. They had a Tornado Trio tag match. And they beat the Dogs, of course. Because Roderick Strong was the one returning. The newest person to inserted into this was Roderick Strong. Wrestling Logic wins. That was a match that wasn't out, so we didn't get a chance to pick it. AEW Men's World Championship match. I unfortunately picked this match correct. I was trying to find a way. Me and Gooley was trying to find a way to hang out this match and not and still have an opportunity. But that wasn't one. Yeah, that wasn't one. All right, so got a couple of comments here. Gooley says, I'm fine with that. And I'll talk about uh maybe not getting the brood edge in Christian. And then Yolanda says, yo, what's up, fellas? What up, Yolanda? You sliding in on the end of our AEW coverage. We need some time for WWE because it might happen then too. So yeah, the quick version of what popped off the AEW Revolution. I want to say, and you know me, I will give a hard time if I feel like it's merited. This was a quality, I feel like, pay-per-view, and I feel like you got your money's worth. It's a little long because you know they be long, a little long, but you can also watch this on myaew.com for the first time, as well as HBO Max. I think you can watch on Amazon, YouTube, or traditional pay-per-view. So they try to put it out in a lot of places. So they get good numbers because it's more spread out than some other things. But yeah, AEW, you dominated the weekend. I'm going to give you that. You dominated the weekend. And what I'm going to say is that still doesn't change Monday and Friday. But you did dominate the weekend. Kudos to you for that. All right, we're going to go ahead and take a quick commercial break here, good people. When we return, Playmaker going to get into all things Raw and SmackDown. Hopefully I left him enough time. He got about, 47 minutes? About 45 minutes. TNA people, we got you, Nathan. We're going to get some seriousness on TNA front.
Whether it's the men's college game,
The way that this season has been going, yeah, anything is possible.
the women's college game,
And how passionate Angel Reese was at that press conference, they got their mojo now.
the WNBA,
AJ Wilson on Twitter 1 and 2, followed by Brittany Griner, Aaliyah Boston, Jackie Young.
or the NBA.
The Lakers had a 0.8 chance of winning. And then what happened in the fourth quarter? LeBron James by himself outdid the Clippers.
You will get any and all of the information right at your fingertips or your earlobes. Join the Playmaker as he breaks down all things basketball in Shooting Lights Out on the Playmakers blog, network, YouTube channel, and where you can find podcasts. Join the transporter to Hades.
Your butt and gut becomes one.
Join the reformer of hooker whores.
This is my daughter, Placenta Booty Johnson.
Join the bronze god.
And ever you are in distress, take off your baseball cap and throw it in the air.
Join your very own superhero of broadcasting, Chris Bass.
So whatever color crayon they get, they palm it and do two circles, and that translates to, I can be the black people.
As he takes you through the week's paces in Baseline. Live every Saturday at 8 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Central, Pacific time zone people, just stay asleep when this is on live and just catch the recording. No, I'm sorry. Exclusively on the Chris Bass YouTube channel.
All right, good people.
The floor is set.
Playmaker, it's all you.
Well, you heard about the madness that AEW went on this weekend. But before the weekend took place, there was madness in World Wrestling Entertainment. We started off Monday Night Raw with Adam Pearce saying he wanted to speak with Seth Rollins. And before you knew it, there was about a dozen to 20 guys in black hoodies and masks popping up, doing crazy stuff. And all of a sudden, one was left in the ring. And that one happened to be Seth Rollins. Adam Pearce said he wanted to, end this now before the Division get their hands on Seth Rollins. Because if the Division get their hands on Seth Rollins, it would be the end of Seth Rollins. No words spoken from Seth Rollins, and then the remaining two members of the Division, Logan Paul and Austin Theory, came out. And they said, nope, the end of Seth Rollins happens right now. Seth Rollins puts the mask back on his head. The rest of the members come in and they do the little musical chairs thing, moving around, and they all scatter.
That was really weird, yo. That was really weird.
And then before you know it, LA Knight comes out to get some of the Division. And the Usos come out to get some of the Division. Yeah, we kicked off Raw in some craziness. Just gonna kick off Raw with craziness. Like you said, that was weird, right?
Yeah, it was weird.
And just know, if you did watch Raw last week, notice what the Usos had on and look at the demeanor. There was no Yeeteen Usos last week. If y'all was paying attention. Once we got through all the craziness, next thing you know, we had our first match. But not any chest opening match. It was a gauntlet match to determine who would face AJ Lee for the women's Intercontinental title. Asuka, Ivy Nile, Bayley, Io Sky, Raquel Rodriguez, and Nala Valkyria. Winner gets AJ Lee for the first title event for the Intercontinental title. Lava Valkyria started off against Io Sky. We kind of figured how that was going to go. Then Io Sky had to go against Raquel Rodriguez. Depending on the variables involved, you can figure out how that went. And how the variables went, it wasn't exactly how I thought. Some people got involved. They probably shouldn't have gotten involved. And Io Sky ended up beating Raquel. When you beat Raquel, you don't leave in one piece. So Ivy now took advantage and got rid of Io Sky. Bayley comes out. Bayley versus Ivy now. Who you taking?
No, Bayley all day.
All right, then. And then it left Bayley and Asuka. All right. Interesting. So the winner of this one faces AJ Lee. Okay. I think I'm going to go Oscar on this right here. Well, not so fast because what role does Kairi Sane play in all this? Is my question here. So I don't know if you want to go with Oscar just yet. And lo and behold, Kairi Sane played a major role, and guess who won? Cool.
Bayley cakes.
Bayley! So those of you couldn't keep up. So Liv Morgan got involved, which she shouldn't have gotten involved, and helped cost Raquel her chance at the Intercontinental title. Kairi Sane is still messing up, which cost Asuka her chance at the Intercontinental title. And this is why Bayley's getting the first shot. So there's many storylines in this whole gauntlet match.
Yeah.
But I am intrigued in Bayley and AJ Lee. That's an interesting route to go for the first one.
So we know Bailey's not going to win, respectfully.
Yeah. So the question is, what are we getting out of this match? Outside of
We are,
the result.
we are going to get Becky Lynch interfering in this match. That's what I think we're going to get.
Okay.
All right. We got a couple of comments here. So Yolanda says that was stupid. Then Yolanda says, y'all, I was right about Finn last week about Finn, wanting him to just leave, not get kicked out. Well, Yolanda, that's pretty much getting kicked out. Like we told you, you don't leave factions, you get kicked out. When you're laying on the ground, everybody's standing over you. You got kicked out.
Advice for my sister to jump ahead and go ahead and throw that out there.
Yeah. Hey, I mean, yeah. We still gonna talk about it though. Yes, sir.
So, speaking of Intercontinental title, the men's side, Penta was to defend his Intercontinental title against the original Grande Americano. Unfortunately, did the right Grande Americano came out for that match?
I'm gonna go with no.
See, this is what happens when you run up against freaking Danhausen.
Mm-hmm.
He's going around curse people, and crazy things are happening.
Mm-hmm.
Grande Americano, the original, was supposed to get the match, but no, the other Grande Americano came out for the match.
Mm-hmm.
But you know who's going to win. That's Penta's first title in WWE. You think he's going to lose?
Exactly.
Sure,
Exactly.
we getting Penta at WrestleMania. I have no complaints.
I don't either.
But I am interested to see what they do next, though. Who will he face at WrestleMania? That's my question. The reason why I asked that question is because to the aforementioned Judgment Day, Dom said, all right, I didn't want to do this in front of everybody, but Finn, you leave me no choice. Calls out Finn Balor. Let's talk about what happened the previous week and why Dirty Dom is no longer Intercontinental Champion. But if I recall, and cool, you can correct me if I'm wrong, going into the match, Dirty Dom did say he wanted to see if he can beat Penta on his own.
He said it at the behest of Finn Balor. He really wanted the help, but he didn't want to look like a chump when Finn kind of called him out on it. But yes, technically, he did at the behest of Mr. Balor.
So, you know, he was in the match with Penta. It's not going his way. And I think he called for help.
He definitely did. And Finn was like, nah. He said he was going to do it by himself.
And we found out he couldn't do it by himself.
No, we didn't find out. We already knew. But carry on.
Of course, yeah, of course we already knew, but of course we do that, but yeah. All right. Finn Balor said, I'm sorry. There's a thing here with apologies from last week, It's a thing with apologies. You want to say you're sorry, but you're sorry for the thing that you're not what they want you to say you're sorry for. So Finn say you're sorry, but it's not his fault you couldn't be mad enough to beat Penta. I'm paraphrasing though.
Yeah.
Dominic gave him a shove because he didn't like what he heard. You put your hands on him first. I'm just telling you that. You put your hands on him first. So he had the right to.
You have to talk about the part where he said maybe your dad was right. Yeah, talk about that part.
Which led to the push. He said his dad was right, and Dominic is not who he think he is. Pretty much.
Oh, Yolanda,
You
my
think
bad. I missed your comment.
you think you're up here, but you're really down here. You can't do it on your own. You need help, and nobody takes you seriously, pretty much. And
Because
Finn,
you.
and Finn, you are correct on all occasions. We do not take Dominic seriously.
Never have, never will.
There's
Well,
no,
not yet.
which is crazy because you have a woman that we do take seriously in Liv Morgan, and we look at you like, okay.
Some people take Liv more seriously than others, but yeah, throw that out there.
Which led to the push, and Finn Balor gave him that over the head kick, which I love so much. JD said, oh, hey, you didn't have to. He pushed me first, but JD was like, I get it, yeah, but you're the bigger man. Be the bigger man. Dominic tried to go for seconds, and he ended up taking a sling blade. And Finn set up for the patented kick into the turnbuckle right in front of Liv Morgan, who did do nothing until JD got involved. This is where the debate comes in at, because I've seen people say, why Liv Morgan ain't do nothing? And then had other people on the side say, well, it's more impactful that JD did something. Here's where WWE messed up, in my opinion. When you had JD hit Finn Balor, everybody should have just stood there for a minute and shocked, because JD literally went and took out Finn Balor. If there was anybody in Judgment Day that you did not think was going to take out Finn Balor, it's JD Madonna.
So here's why I think they actually got it right with that. Because we can assume that they had some conversations off camera. And they knew calling Finn Balor out was going to probably result in what happened, right? So if you want to stay in the Judgment Day, we just need you just to prove to us that you still down, even though your boy ain't going to be here. What's the best way to do that? You be the one to take him out. So I think they actually did the right thing. Just my interpretation of the situation.
But that was one of the battles online. I ain't going to say arguments. This is a fairly conversation online for once. So, yes, Finn Balor out of the Judgment Day. Where does the Judgment Day go from here? Where does Finn Balor go from here?
He should form a Balor Club. He probably won't do it, but he should just form a Balor Club, and they should be wilding out.
Interesting.
He should have
sir.
a couple of his people come back and support him.
All right, sir. I'm going to say this one for you because that man, that is the ruler. Oh, my gosh.
Who?
I'll let you have that one. Oh, boy.
Rusev is a tough guy. Not going to take that away from him. But you know what he ain't? I'm going to tell you what he ain't. He ain't Obafemi. And he learned that lesson on Monday night. What I would like, I'm jumping ahead here, tonight, when Brock Lesnar comes out, starts talking yak about everybody scared of him, I want to see somebody strut down to the ring looking like a Nigerian version of Akuma and get up in an old boy's face and say, what about me? That's what I want to happen. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but that's what I want to happen.
That man beat Rusev. And you just got to sit there like, yep, If anybody's challenging Brock Lesnar, it need to be him.
Feel me?
It need to be him. Because like he said, we all know and understand Rusev is a tough guy. He don't back down for nobody. And Obafemi gave it to him.
Femi gonna give it to you. He gonna give it to you.
Shout out to DMX.
Yes, sir.
I don't know. I was just like, well, darn. Okay. That's definitely on par with what I'm looking for. Obafemi versus Brock at WrestleMania. Give it. Triple H, don't you screw this up.
Tell the people what your sister say.
We all want Oba versus Brock.
Oh, my sister, testify.
Now, I will give you one alternative because we haven't seen him since Royal Rumble, but that's my only alternative. Outside of that, it better be Obafemi. And then we get
Who's your alternative?
Worst Keys.
I think he's going a different route.
He can go a different route, but I'm saying if I need an alternative, it's him. I don't want an alternative, but if I need one,
That would be a decent alternative, but it would be hard with no build. That's the only thing I don't like about him never being on TV. There's no build, so there's no like, okay, there's a payoff. You know what I'm saying?
I get it.
But I don't disagree because it needed to be somebody that can physically match up, but he just ain't been seen. My man, like a Phantom. He was in the Rumble and then just we ain't heard nothing from him.
And then we get to the world champion who gets to come out. Said he didn't know what kind of reaction he was going to get from the Seattle crowd because of what he did the previous week, which was very disrespectful.
Very disrespectful.
And when I know he disrespectful, because he knew he was very disrespectful when he did it.
Yes, he did.
You ain't fooling nobody, Phil. But you see him Punk and everybody love you because that's who you are. Now, as he was getting ready to, do what he does best, get the crowd up and talk about things that's been on people's mind as of lately. Oh, the Usos showed up. But what I said earlier, there was not no Yeeteen Usos. Sir, if I had to put it in terms, your boy reverted back to bloodline status.
I'm going to say everybody going to read too much into it, but it's because they're trying to sell the fact of how upset that all the family members are at what he said. And that we're not going to see this Jay every week. But yes, he was dressed in all black. No reading and all that this time. That is all factual information.
He put it plain and simple. Look at CM Punk. I need you to apologize.
There's a key element in this that a lot of people have glossed over. And I don't know if my co-host is going to gloss over it or not, but I just want to throw this in y'all mind. CM Punk said, instead of showing up himself, Roman's going to send his young boys. And they both looked at him and said, Roman didn't send us. So make sure you pay attention to that.
This has nothing to do with Roman Reigns. If you listen to Jim Uso, he said, this all I have to do with respect. He said, I respect you, CM Punk. I respect what you're about. I respect what you do. You say what you say. You mean what you say. You wear your heart on your sleeve. I respect you. You're the voice of the voiceless. But you brought somebody up who doesn't have a voice anymore. And Phil, instead of just, understanding where the Usos are coming from, understanding that you did something that wasn't cool, we just need you to apologize. That's all we want. Just an apology. That's all we want was an apology. And the crowd was telling you to apologize. The crowd was telling him to apologize. When have you ever heard a crowd tell somebody to apologize?
They bought into the story for sure.
They said apologize. I'm like, even the crowd wants you to apologize. So you know there's something going on here.
All I'm gonna say is you get what you ask for. Sometimes you get it because you asked for it.
And all CM Punk had to do was to say, I'm sorry. That's it. But instead he says, I'm sorry. And then he throws Roman back into it.
Of course he does.
And Jay was giving him one more opportunity. I need you to apologize
For what you said.
for what you said. And then CM Punk goes around. So I have to apologize, but Roman doesn't have to apologize when he brought up Dusty Rhodes and all this other stuff. And then it got to a point where it wasn't Jay, it was Jimmy that dropped CM Punk.
That's important, y'all. These are the details I want y'all to pay attention to. And I want to tell y'all one other thing while we're talking about the Usos. It's not related. They're dropping the belts at WrestleMania so Jimmy can take his parental leave.
I'm good with that. I ain't expecting to hold the titles that long anyway.
And Yolanda says it's barely heel versus face anymore. The crowd be cheering for everybody nowadays. We need more bad guys. And again, all I can say is, oh, my sister, testify.
Which brings me to SmackDown from Friday.
Oh, yes. Perfect lead-in, boy. I had to lay that one down.
We open the show. We got Nick Aldis. He has the contract, making sure everything's nice and good and getting ready to give it to Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton for that match at WrestleMania. And then Drew McIntyre comes out. He's upset. He's angry. He's everything you can think of because he's no longer WWE champion.
He's sleeping.
He came in. We had a deal. You said Cody Rhodes should not get another title match, and then I'll just fell back and said, yeah, the same way that you screwed him out of the Royal Rumble, the same way you screwed him out of Elimination Chamber. So every time,
and you reneged on our deal.
So you want me to like just gloss over the fact that you're the reason why Cody Rhodes can't get a title shot?
Right.
Wasn't like he got eliminated by somebody else. You eliminated him for the Royal Rumble.
And then he hit him with some hot fire. Some Dylon hot fire. He told him. He said, in the first chance he got, he beat you.
He ain't like that. Got up and lit all the space and he wanted to do something, and then werewolf showed up.
Mm-hmm. A certain Samoan werewolf.
I didn't have a werewolf on my bingo card that day. But I'm glad I did get a werewolf that day. It made things very more interesting to watch.
I wasn't mad.
He said, say, yeah, you were around here crying, pointing all the fingers in no way. I'm the one that screwed you. Point the finger at me.
He did say
what
that.
You gonna do about it? Drew McIntyre looks at him and say, what I'm gonna do about it? I ain't gonna do nothing. I don't got time for this. Goes up to Nick Aldis. I quit. Well, that got the people talking. Because last thing you know, everybody's like, how many times Drew McIntyre gonna quit every time he loses the title?
At least every time he loses the title. That's when he starts to have a temper tantrum.
For those who want to know the real reason why he's actually cast to film a movie, okay, he's not really quitting.
Highlander.
He's cast to film a movie, so you got to give him that time to go film the movie.
Which again makes it even more stupid that they actually won a championship, but I digress. Or do I?
You don't. But I think they only did that because they was going across the pond. So he got to be champion in front of his peoples.
Then you should have let him win it sooner so he could have it longer. That was stupid.
Yeah, same thing they did with Maxine, remember? Remember I told you they one time, like, she ain't going to keep that down long.
Yeah, but Maxine is not Drew McIntyre. I can understand if you do that with Maxine. The fact that she even won still appalls me.
That's it. That was a wedding present. That's what that was.
Okay, well, that's cool, but he's not.
I know
Maxine.
you still don't like it, but I'm like, it was a wedding. That was a wedding present.
I mean, I'm fine with it. I'm just shocked that they actually pulled the trigger on it. Like, I'm not like, oh, Maxine should have never won. I'm just shocked that they actually gave Maxine the championship. Yolanda says Drew needs to stop the I quit mess. Yeah, somebody could have took him out in the back like they do everybody else. Why he got to quit? He could have got taken out in the back. Under a pile or something, or he could have got hit by a car. You know, and then somebody come back and say, I did it.
Oh, Lord, not Rikishi.
I did it for Jacob Fatu.
Oh, Lord. So we had that happen. Nick Aldis and Jacob Fatu, they in the back having a nice spat because Jacob Fatu been waiting all this time to get his hand on Drew McIntyre, and Drew McIntyre quit. Meaning Jacob Fatu can't get his hand on Drew McIntyre. And he wanted to whoop, man. As soon as he said whoop, you know who came out.
Yes, I do. My man with his lemon pepper steppers. And they stepped in some poo.
Talking mad trash to Jacob Fatu. And Jacob Fatu got back in his face. And then they were like, no. Y'all two, y'all can go settle that in the ring tonight. Trick didn't like that idea. They're like, no, you need to make this right. I don't need to be facing him. You need to make this right. Nate Aldis said, no, you facing Jacob Fatu tonight in that ring. Or do we need to have two people that quit and out of a job today?
Well, he said two people that lose it that don't have a job. Yeah. So, I think he was saying you're gonna get fired, Mr. Williams. Tricky 2 titles.
And Nick Aldis don't care how big you are. I put you in a match. You go to the match.
And you give me your potion of cornbread, boy.
So
we can back life reference if you don't get
it. Our women's champion Thunder Cakes herself did her thing against Meacham. And then she has some words from one Rhea Ripley, and Rhea Ripley took her line the previous week, so she returned the favor and took her line last Friday. Then Mommy comes out, wants to, have some fisticuffs, and the champ said, not today.
She just had a match.
Not today.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you ain't had no match. You come to her, she just had a match. So I have done very good on Cakes, but I have to say, Jade always looks phenomenal. But when she has on the silver with the blonde hair, she just looks. Thank you, Jade. Thank you. The voluptuousness from Thunder Cakes is definitely in high effect. And then Emo Cakes comes out looking very delicious as well. So it's caked. Lots of cakes there. And we can't put Mitch in the argument at all. We can't even mention her.
We can. She was the receiver of a beatdown.
I mean, we still can't mention her when you're talking Cakes. You have to mention her after it's done or beforehand.
So we had that happen. Small note to continue with Jade. Was Jade backstage having a conversation with somebody?
She was in the background.
Who she was talking to?
If memory serves me correct, and I'd like to think my memory is pretty good most of the time, she was having a conversation with BFAB.
Interesting. I want to know what that conversation was about.
And we know we don't know, but we're pretty confident the baddies are going to be some variant of the baddies is going to happen in WWE. And BFAB could be a founding associate of the baddies.
If that happens, that might change my WrestleMania thought.
And then Rhea Ripley, of course, went and tried to talk to Michin after the match. And Michin had a little bit of attitude. So there's that as well. Yeah.
Interesting things happening around here. Okay.
A little bit of that. I can't beat them, so I joined them syndrome, maybe.
So we had that going on. And there's before it's went up against the Friends of Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss for the first defense of the tag team titles. This is the disappointing moment of the week for me. I don't know how my co-host feels, but the Bella Twins are involved in the tag team title picture. And they made this match a no contest. So I have to watch the Bella Twins at the WrestleMania go for the tag team titles.
No, you have to watch a three-way.
It still involves them, is my point.
Yeah, but they're not going to be part of the outcome. Well, that's not true. That's not true. They'll be part of the outcome. One will be laid on their back looking at the ceiling. We're used to that anyway.
If I can just get rid of the Bellas. No disrespect to y'all, but I don't want to see y'all in wrestling no more. I really don't. Y'all time has passed. I don't care no more.
But time is up. Their time is now. You can't see them. Their time is now.
R-Truth and Damian Priest is a tag team. Speaking coming full circle.
That's wild.
Speaking of wild, why do I got to see Jalen Rogue fight at WrestleMania? But Grace is losing a lot of weight, though.
But you're going to see him fight with Royce Keys, more than likely.
Yeah, I heard that.
Yeah, I think that's where they're going to go. Him and Royce Keys against The Miz and Kit Wilson. We might get Kit Wilson at WrestleMania.
You don't need Jalen Rogue for that. That's like Royce Keys beat both of them. Like he can beat both of them.
But you got to have a tag team partner. Even had to have a tag team partner. Braun Strowman. Now he might have picked a little kid, but even he had to have a tag team partner. Got to have a tag team partner.
Well, they was going for the tag team titles. That's different.
I'm just saying you got to have a tag team partner if you're going to be a tag team match.
Fair enough. Tiffany's trying to defeat Kiana James. Kiana James getting a lot of in-ring time now.
She is. Kiana James is kicked up too.
Good job, Triple H and WWE. You're giving Keon James a lot of in-ring time. I'm not mad at you for it. I'm not mad at it at all.
Some fluffy cupcakes.
I do love what Tiffany did backstage, though. She was getting ready to start a promo. Chelsea Green comes out of nowhere, and she just rolls.
She just rolls. Yeah, I like that, too. I like that, too. That was good.
Get up my promo.
Anyway, like I was saying, that was great. The lack of acknowledgement was wonderful for me. Good job, Tiffany.
I was like, yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Great job.
Get out of my promo. This ain't about you.
Yeah, great job for that, Tiffany. And I don't mean that like sarcastically. Really good job for that. So serious.
I'm gonna give Chelsea her props too, because she's willing to do all this stupid stuff.
Bro, Chelsea will do anything. But she was Laurel Van Ness too, so there's that. After seeing her do that role, I'm not surprised by the stuff she's doing now.
But I'm giving her props though. She's willing to do this.
Oh yeah, She's gonna push that story forward. She don't care what she gotta do. She's gonna make it happen.
And then we get to the Trick Williams versus Jacob Fatu match. And simply put, the man that quit caused Jacob Fatu the match. So the lemon pepper stepper, Tricky Williams, beats Jacob Fatu.
He whooped that trick. You say what you want about how he whooped that trick? He whooped that trick.
I was gonna say more like Drew McIntyre whooped that trick, but
hey, in the record books, like Corey Graves always say, in the record books, who will it show that won that match? Tricky 2 belts.
You're not wrong.
But he did have a lot of help from Drew McIntyre.
Hey, you thought you quit, Drew? What happened?
Well, there was one person that was very excited about the fact they didn't quit. Our good old GM.
Oh, I thought you quit, Drew, but since you didn't, guess what? Friday on SmackDown is you and Jacob Fatu. Oh, yeah, come on. Are y'all really gonna have that match on SmackDown? That match has got to make it a WrestleMania. Drew McIntyre is not leaving to film a movie before WrestleMania.
And that's why he should have stayed champion until WrestleMania. 4-way match should have happened. But you know what? We're about to get to. I'm not that upset about that.
And then the contract signing. Cody Rhodes, Randy Orton, time to sign the contract. Put your John Hancock on the dotted line. Let's make it official for the WWE Undisputed title. Mentor and mentee, teacher, student. Well, the puns you want to put with it is going down at WrestleMania. And then you know what? I'm not going that route. I'm just gonna go straight to it. Okay. Let's just go straight to it.
It's always the best way for me.
You want to know why they went this route? Because it's something my co-host has said a few weeks back, and it's actually happened. What was that you said last week that revolves with that one of them guys in this match?
So what?
Oh, Cody fatigue is happening.
Yeah.
And they know it's happening. So that's why they went this route.
Yep.
And guess what? Not only did they go this route, they didn't get the reaction that they wanted.
It really did.
Nobody booed when Randy Orton was whooping on Cody. Nobody booed.
I didn't boo at home either. I said, get him, Randy.
And that's coming from a Cody Rhodes fan.
Yep, I said, get him.
One of the men that was driving the bus for Cody Rhodes.
But what did I say? While I was driving the bus, what did I say? I said, after he wins, they're going to make me want to slam the bus into a tree. And they have. I already seen it coming. My third eye seen it coming before it happened. They actually did a worse job than I expected them to do with his title runs.
It's not even the title runs. You keep putting back in the title picture.
But because his runs last too long against the same people. It's a whole system and reason why.
If you would have made a fatal 4-way match, nobody would complain. Yeah, Cody Rhodes getting the shot, but we got Jacob Fatu in there, we got Randy Orton in there, we got Drew McIntyre in there. We have a interesting fatal 4-way here that can go either way. We can guess which way they're gonna go, but we don't know because it's a fatal 4-way. They can go any route they want to go.
You know, the other thing that would have made people happy, is if you left the belt on Drew until WrestleMania. You're not going to turn the people back on Cody's side before WrestleMania, so you can cancel that, WWE. I know it's what you're trying to do, but we're not going for that. You lost us with Cody when you put the belt back on him. There was no excuse for that. And you will not be forgiven, you jackanapes.
And you thought turning Randy Orton heel was going to save that? And I think it was like, yes, yes, get him, Orton, get him.
There was a few fans that was like, but for the most part, everybody knew what it was. All right, this is a great moment. We got one of our most interactive watchers here with some questions or some comments. So, she said, Drew needs to stop with the I quit mess. I was saving this one because, y'all can see it, but, she said, well, he still showed up at the end of the night. Yes, he did. This one right here, I'm going to answer first. Please, the holy gods of wrestling, make this happen. Do y'all think Sammy turning heel? Please, let him turn heel. Please. And I say, please, turn him heel. Yana says, Jelly Roll shaking my head. Then she says, exactly to the talk about y'all lost everybody with Cody. You can't constantly shove Homelander down our throats and expect us to accept it. I've been watching The Boys recently. I hadn't watched it before. But as I watched it, I'm like, that's just a crazy Cody. That's all Homelander is. He's a crazy Cody. Outfits, it's crazy. Everything.
You know what you can do, WWE? You know what you can do? Put the belt on Randy Orton. Go ahead and put the belt on Randy Orton.
And you know what?
The only logical way you can get out of this.
And you know what else you can do? Let's give Cody an extended break. Randy Orton needs to whoop his butt thoroughly and put him out of action for a couple of months. Kayfabe, of course. Let him cool off a little bit. Let QB1 get a break. Because we're suffering from QB1 fatigue right now. As I knew we would, but I still needed him to finish the story for personal reasons. A lot of people know I lost my dad. And it resonated with me when we were talking about how he wanted to finish these things and he wished he could have done it while his dad was there. My dad never got to see me do podcasting or some of the things I've accomplished. So I get it, and I resonated with that, and that's why I wanted him to finish. But I knew when he did that Paul was going to screw it up. But I will give, y'all might want to chop this up because you ain't going to hear this very much. I will give Hunter credit, Paul Levesque credit. The way that Randy Orton flipped, I don't think we expected that. The turn, quote unquote, I think we expected that. I don't believe it's a turn. Because remember, he was telling Cody, you don't understand. And what did Cody do? What Cody always does. No, I want Randy. I want the apex predator and the legend killer and blah, 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 blah. So again, one of my favorite phrases. You get what you ask for. You get it because you ask for it. You asked for it, what you got, Cody. And then you got it.
Thoroughly.
Then you tried to say, at WrestleMania, but until then, I love you. No, that's not how the voices in Randy Orton's head work. The Randy Orton that kicks people and hears voices in his head and humps the ground before he gives you an RKO, that's my favorite Randy Orton. That's the Randy Orton we're going to see at WrestleMania. I'm a little excited about that. I'm not going to pretend. I'm not. I'm a little excited about that.
There you go. Time for Monday Night Raw.
But hey, I want to see what happens with Finn too. In
I
Judgment
want to
Day.
see what
in
happens because the
November.
tribal chief is back.
Yeah.
This is getting really personal.
I just hope that they go ahead and have him around, let him get a good run. And see, the thing is, all I ask from every other week. If you show up every other week, I'm good. And if you show up 1 week and then you don't show up for 2 weeks, but then you show up for 2 weeks, I'm good. Just give me about every other week and I'm good. You know what I'm saying? But they do need you for ratings, bro. They getting paid a lot of money by Netflix. They need you for ratings. That's all I got to say about that. Any last words?
Nope. Wait for more matches to happen. There's gonna be some more.
Last
matches.
comment. Someone that's a fan of Randy, like I'm a fan of Bailey and Jade. She says they better let Randy get his 15. They should. They really should. And this is the best time he's gonna have Yolanda. So good people. Raw was on. Y'all enjoy yourselves. We will be back next week. Make sure that you like, share. If you haven't already subscribed, tell everybody you know that likes sport of professional wrestling. Come check us out. Interact with us. Let's have a good time on Monday nights, 6:30, roughly, to about 8. Y'all know how we do things come up. That's what's up, Yolanda. That's what's up. I'm excited too. Cool. Love it. Be back next week. Let's do this thing. Shout out to everybody who's watching. Even if you don't feel like commenting, shout out to the people who share, let everybody know all the good stuff. And as I always say, it's never where you start, it's always where you finish. We back next week.